Well, good morning. This is Kent Blaylock with SDG Replays coming to you live this morning, replaying a game from May the 17th, 1979, as we see the Pittsburgh Pirates hosting the New York Mets. This is the third game in a set between the Mets and the Pirates. They're even 1-1. A 3-2 game in their first game of the set. In the second game of the set, it went to 11 innings with the Mets winning late. Oh, I forget the score now. It was either they won by 2. I think it was 9-7 or 8-6. Excuse me for my lack of memory. But we're even at 2 now. And this is the matchup that we're excited to be looking at today as we see Ed Whitson step into the mound for the Pittsburgh Pirates and Pete Falcone for the Mets. So let's just jump right into the game. Whitson will be on the mound. He, during the season, had a 4.10 ERA with a 1.43 whip. In our replay, Whitson has pitched 14 2/3 innings, allowing 12 hits and a home run with a 2.45 ERA and a 1.09 whip with a 1-0 record. So he has pitched a little better in real life. I'll just give the lineups as we go into it. As you can see with the setup here, as I take us back to the setup, in game what we'll be using is the dice roller on the right. You can see down in the bottom left hand corner is the PC replay engine that I'll be using to keep score, but we'll be playing using Payoff Pitch. And so that's our setup. Let's get into the game. Leading off for the New York Mets, Steve Henderson. Henderson on the season batted .306 with 5 home runs in 79. During this replay, he's batting .248 with 10 RBIs and 3 home runs. Here's the pitch from Whitson. That's an in-play 67 to Henderson. There'll be a ground ball to second. Rennie sent it up with it over to first for our first out and a 4-3 put out. That'll bring up Frank Taveras. Taveras on the season batted .262 with a home run. During this replay, he's batting .253 with 12 RBIs. Taveras digs in as Whitson toes the rubber, brings the pitch. That's a wheelhouse to Taveras, but he has hit it too high and too short as he's lifted it into left field. He takes Robinson back to the warning track, but Robinson easily underneath it for out number 2. 2 up, 2 down as Lee Mazzilli comes to the plate. Mazzilli steps in. Switch hitters, batting from the left side of the plate. Here's a pitch from Whitson to Mazzilli. That is a patient 67 to Mazzilli. And Mazzilli takes that offering. We'll be using the fast action cards. It's a line drive into center field. So it's a 2-out single by Mazzilli. And so Mazzilli is safely on first with 2 outs. That'll bring Richie Hebner to the plate. The runner on first. Hebner batted .268 during the 79 season with 10 home runs. Here's the pitch to Hebner. That's a patient 48 to Hebner. And he'll walk Hebner, so with 2 outs, we now have runners on first and second. And Willie Montanez coming to the plate. Montanez on the season batted .256 with 13 home runs. Here's the pitch from Whitson to Montanez. That's a wheelhouse. 49 to Montanez. Montanez takes a good swing at it. He's got a good offering, but he gets a little too much of the top of it. Grounds it to short. He grounds it to third. Garner up with it for the 5-3 put out. And we'll go to the bottom of the first with no score as Pete Falcone steps to the mound. Falcone had a I did not record that out. There we go. Falcone on the season, a 4.16 ERA with a 1.47 whip. So far in this replay, he's got a 1.48 whip, so he's pretty much on par for the card with a 3.38 ERA. Marino steps to the plate, batting .282 in the season in 79 with 8 home runs. On our replay, he's batting .303 with 15 RBIs and 2 home runs. Falcone toes the rubber. Marino digs in. Here's the pitch. That's a tough 44 to Marino. And Marino will take that first pitch offering, a soft blooper into right field, puts Marino on safely with a leadoff single. And Falcone will hold Marino on second. He will not be stealing. As Phil Garner steps to the plate. Garner on the season batted .293 with 11 home runs, 17 stolen bases. Here's the pitch to Garner as Falcone digs in. That's a tough 79. That'll be a fly ball to center field. Lee Mazzilli settling underneath it for out number 1. As that will hold Marino on first as Dave Parker steps to the plate. Parker in 79 batted .310 with 25 home runs, and in this replay he has been lights out, batting .362 with 36 RBIs and 8 home runs already in this early season. So Parker's been swinging the bat well. See if he can continue that. Here is the pitch from Falcone. That's a patient 20 for Dave Parker, and he will get the free pass as he is walked, and we have runners on first and second with 1 out. Here in the bottom of the second, and that will bring Bill Robinson to the plate. Robinson on the season batted .264 with 24 home runs. Falcone getting a little nervous about a situation, brings the pitch to Robinson. That's an in-play 14 for Bill Robinson. Robinson takes the offering from Falcone. He hits a long single into the gap in center field that will advance everyone a base. So bases loaded, they are dripping as Pop Stargell steps into the batter's box. Falcone in deep trouble here early in this game. Bases are dripping with Pirates. This is the pitch from Falcone. Stargell stepping in. That's a patient 66. That's a ground ball, too short. They will not swing the double play, but they will get the lead runner at second. Marino will score with his speed of 8. So with 2 outs, score now 1-0. Have runners on the corner as Steve Nicosia steps to the plate. With the Pirates leading 1-0, Pete Falcone toes the rubber, brings the pitch to Nicosia. That's a tough 25 to Steve Nicosia. He's hold on. Versus left-handed pitching. He does not strike him out. Falcone, it's a grounder down the line. Into left field. The runners advance 2 bases. So Nicosia hits a no, that's not correct. Just a regular double. It'll score Parker. And Stargell will be all the way to third. So this score now is 2-0 as Rennie Stennett comes to plate with runners on second and third. Falcone's just looking to get out of the inning. Here's the pitch from Falcone to Stennett. That's a tough 31 to Rennie Stennett. And Stennett gets the bat on the ball. And it bloops it into right field for a run-scoring single, as that's the third run plated in the first. It's 3-0 Pirates as Del Barra comes to the plate with runners on the corner. Falcone looking just to get out of this inning without any further damage. Falcone in frustration looking at Barra, brings the pitch. And that should do it. That high roll of 96 will be a fly ball into left field. Steve Henderson underneath it to close out inning number 1, but not after 3 runs come across on 4 hits for the Pittsburgh Pirates. So good first inning for the hitting of the Pirates as Ed Whitson goes to the mound with a lot of confidence after seeing his offense put up 3 runs in the first. As Joel Youngblood steps to the plate. Youngblood batted .275 with 16 home runs in 1979. Here's the pitch from Whitson. That's an in-play 80. That's a fly ball to center field. Omar Marino ranging underneath it for out number 1. Joel Youngblood goes back to the dugout as Alex Trevino steps in. Trevino in 79 batted .275 with 16 home runs. Having trouble getting that out recorded. Trevino batted .271 with no home runs as he steps to the plate. Here's the pitch from Whitson. Trying to get some offense going. That's a patient 38. And Trevino will get a lead-off, one-out single as Trevino is sitting on first base. He is prone. Doug Flynn comes up as Trevino takes a short lead off of first. Here's the pitch from Whitson. That's a patient 30 to Flynn. That'll be a pop up to third as he just hits a short pop up down the third base line. Garner underneath it. Route number 2. Now to bring Pete Falcone up to the plate, hitting off the number 5 card as Whitson pitches to his counterpart. Pete Falcone hoping to help his cause. That's a patient 0-4. As for the frustration of Whitson, he walks Falcone, puts Falcone down on first. You don't want to walk the opposing pitcher, but he did, as Steve Henderson now comes to the plate. As Henderson comes to the plate, Henderson, his first time up, grounded out to second as Whitson brings the pitch. Runners on first and second, 2 outs. That's a patient 85. That'll be a ground ball to short. Bear up with it. Takes a short route over to second for the 6-4 put out. And we go to the bottom of the second. With the score 3-0. Mets, excuse me, not the Mets. The Pirates lead 3-0 as Ed Whitson will lead it off. He hits off the number 1 hitting card, so he's not very good with the bat. Did bat 111 in 79. Here's the pitch. That's a ballpark 49. That's going to be a wheelhouse for Whitson. That's a wheelhouse 31, which will be a line drive to second. Flynn with a leaping catch. It's hit hard, but right at the second baseman for out number 1. Now Omar Marino back up on the plate. Here's the pitch from Falcone, looking to be a little more settled here in the second. That's an in play 41 for Omar Marino. That's a ground. He hits it sharply back to Falcone, who fields it easily and over to first for the 1-3 put out, and out number 2. As Phil Garner steps in. Garner, his first time up, flew out to center field. Falcone toes the rubber as Garner digs in. Here's the pitch. That's a ballpark 26. That'll be a wheelhouse for Garner. And it's a wheelhouse 26 for Garner from a lefty. That'll be hit hard and into the corner. And Garner, who runs well, finds himself standing up on third with a 2-out triple. Phil Garner finds himself on third base. And Dave Parker stepping to the plate. Can he drive in another run? Can we get Garner across the plate? Parker, his first time up, had a free pass. He's hoping to get something to swing at this time around with Garner on third. Here is the pitch. That's a tough 71. That'll be a ground ball to short. Taveras, up with it. Over to first. With a 6-3 put out. And we go to the third with our score still 3-0. Pittsburgh stepping to the plate. For Mets, Frank Taveras. Here's the pitch from Whitson. Whitson digging in. Towing in on the mound. Here's the pitch. That's a patient 53. And that will be a ground ball to third. Phil Garner up with it. Over to first. 5-3 put out. Now number 1. Lee Mazzilli step into the batter's box. Mazzilli on the day singled his first time up as Whitson, eyeing Mazzilli, brings the pitch. It's a ballpark 14. That's going to be a wheelhouse to Lee Mazzilli. That's a wheelhouse 19. Mazzilli takes that offering. He takes the grapefruit, as RJL would say, and he is made fruit salad as he's hit that one into the upper deck for a home run. And our score now is 3-1. As Mazzilli trots around the bases, Richie Hebner steps into the batter's box. High fives Mazzilli as he crosses the plate. Whitson takes a rosin bag, throws it down in disgust, and steps to the mound. As Hebner steps in. Here's the pitch. That's a patient 63 to Richie Hebner. And Hebner hits a 1-out single to keep the inning going for the Mets as Hebner is safely on first. He will be held by Whitson. He will not be stealing as Willie Montanez steps in. Montanez, his first time up, grounded to third. Here's the pitch from Whitson. If this is a ground ball, this is a double play chance. It is grounded to second. Stennett up with it, over to Berra, to first for the 4-6-3 double play, and that will end our inning, as any rally was killed, but not after one run come across. After the home run by Mazzilli. Our score now is 3-1 Pittsburgh. As we go to the bottom of the third, Bill Robinson coming to the plate as Pete Falcone toes the rubber. Robinson digs in. Here's the pitch. That's a patient 48 to Robinson. A ground ball to third. Richie Hebner up with it. over to first for the 5-3 put out. And out number 1. Pop Stargell stepping in. The 39-year-old Stargell batted .281 with 32 home runs in 1979. So far in our replay, he's struggling a little bit from the plate with a .208 average, but he's still hitting home runs, as he's got 5 home runs and 15 RBIs. Let's see if he can get something going here as Stargell steps in. Falcone with the pitch. And that's going to be our first rare event check. Oh, these make me nervous, rare events, but I go ahead. I like to play the game as it's meant to be played. No one on. Line drive single hits pitcher. Check for injury. Runners advance 1 base. All right, injury. Let's see. Falcone's injury is normal. So 0 to 30, he's okay. So this 49, 31 to 50, he's just injured the remainder of the game. So he's just going to be out the remainder of the game, as we're going to have to find ones. But that is a line drive scored single for Stargell, who popped one off Trevino's thigh. Falcone's thigh, and Falcone will have to be taken out for the rest of the game. That's unfortunate. So we're getting into the dugout pretty quick here. So who do I want to bring in? Not too many good choices. With that extra inning game, that leaves things a little testy. Just because I like him, I'm going to bring in Jesse Orozco. I always found him fascinating when he played. Orozco is going to come in to spell the injured Falcone with the line drive off his thigh. Jesse Orozco's coming in. As Steve Nicosia steps to the plate. Stargell's on first. Here's the pitch. After Orozco warms up, Nicosia steps in. That's a tough 75. It's going to be a fly ball to center field. Mazzilli underneath it. For out number 2. I'll bring Rennie Stennett up to face Jesse Orozco. Stennett singled his first time, driving in a run. He wants to continue the hitting as Orozco brings a pitch. It's a wheelhouse 64 to Rennie Stennett, and that's way out of his wheelhouse range as he hits the ground ball to second. Doug Flynn up with it over to first for the 4-3 put out. And we'll go to the 4th with our score 3-1 Pittsburgh. Joel Youngblood stepping to the plate as Ed Whitson still pitching a one-hitter for the Pirates on 4 hits. As Youngblood steps in, here's the pitch from Whitson. That's a patient 33 to Youngblood. And he will walk him as Youngblood gets the free pass. Alex Trevino steps in. Trevino digging in. Whitson with the pitch. That's an in play, 49. The in play 49 is a ground ball to third. Garner up with it. Over to Stennett at second. To Stargell at first for the 5-4-3 double play. As they turn the double play that goes around the diamond for 2 outs as Doug Flynn steps in. Flynn on the season batted .243 with 4 home runs. Popped up to third his first time up. In our replay, he's batting .254 with 12 RBIs. Here's a pitch from Whitson. It's a patient 66. Be a ground ball to second. Stennett up with it. Over to first for the 4-3 put out as Stargell squeezes it for out number 3. We go to the bottom of the 4th with Pirates still up 3-1. And Jesse Orozco on the mound for the Mets as Dale Berra steps to the plate. Here's the pitch to Berra. That's a patient 0-5 for Dale Berra, and he will take a leadoff walk and trot down to first. That will bring Whitson to the plate. Check real quick. Will he be able to bunt? Yes, he will. So he's going to lay down a sacrifice bunt to try to get Berra over to second. Just got to find my sacrifice bunt chart. Here we go. He's an A rating, so 7-92. He's got a good chance. So 26. It will be a sacrifice bunt that will move, and it is bunted to the catcher, so he lays it down in front of the plate. But Trevino will not be able to make the play to second, so it's a good sacrifice bunt laid down by Whitson to move Berra over to second. So 1 out. Berra on second. Omar Moreno stepping to the plate. Roscoe with the delivery. Moreno digging in. Here's the pitch. It's a tough 76. It's a fly ball to center field. Berra will not be able to move on the tough roll. So with 2 outs, runner on second, Phil Garner steps to the plate. Roscoe looking to get out of the inning with no harm done. Here's the pitch. And it'll be a tough 87 as it's grounded to short. Tavares up with it. Over to first for the 6-3 put out. And we go to the fifth with our score still 3-1 Pittsburgh. Jesse Orozco hitting off the number 1 hitting card. Comes to the plate. Let me get that number 1 hitting card. Here's the pitch from Whitson to his counterpart. Roscoe looking to swing away is something he does not do well. That's the defensive check, but that 97 is way too high for it to be anything but an out. But it's a defensive check on the center fielder as Roscoe loops a high pop-up into center field. Marino underneath it for the F8 put out, and out number 1. Now brings Steve Henderson to the plate. Henderson on the day is 0 for 2, grounding out twice as Whitson's keeping the ball on the ground with Henderson. That's a patient 66. And again, it's grounded to second, stinted up with it over to first for the 4-3 put out, and out number 2. As Tavares steps to the plate. Here is the pitch. Tavares digging in. It's going to patient 77. It's a fly ball to center field. Marino ranging over to his left. Waves Parker off as he settles underneath it for out number 3. And we'll go to the bottom of the 5th with the Pirates up 3-1. Roscoe still on the mound as Dave Parker steps in. Don't want to make a mistake with Parker. Here's the pitch. That's a tough 18 to Dave Parker, and he strikes him out as Parker is sat down. Route number 1, Bill Robinson steps in. Robinson digging in. Orozco to the belt. Here's the pitch. That's a tough 90. Ground ball to short. Tavares up with it. Over to first. Out number 2 on the 6-3 put out. It's Pop Stargell stepping back to the plate. Stargell stepping in. Orozco with the delivery. That's a patient 45. Stargell takes advantage with a 2-out single. Stargell standing on first as he drops that one in front of Youngblood in right field. And that will bring Nicosia up to the plate. Steve Nicosia stepping in. Roscoe with the delivery. That's a tough 74. There'll be a fly ball to center field. Mazzilli underneath it. Squeezes it for out number 3. So with the runner stranded, we go to the 6th with the score still 3-1. Pittsburgh. This will probably be the last inning for Whitson, as he will fatigue in the 7th, but he's only allowed 1 run across. Well, we will see. Here's the pitch to Mazzilli. Mazzilli stepping in. Here's the pitch. It's a ballpark, 69. That'll be a wheelhouse to Mazzilli, who's already had 1 home run today. This time he gets the offering, but he cannot do anything with it as he grounds it to short. Berra up with it over to first as Mazzilli frustratingly goes back to the dugout, knowing he missed a great pitch and didn't do anything with it. As Richie Hebner steps to the plate with 1 out, Hebner digging in. Here's the pitch from Whitson. That's a ballpark 90, and that will be an in play to Hebner. An in play 82 will be a fly ball again to center field. Omar Marino getting a lot of activity as he ranges underneath this one. Takes a few steps over to toward Robinson, waves hello, and makes the catch for out number 2 as Willie Montanez steps into the batter's box. Ed Whitson hoping to get a 1-2-3 inning here. Here's the pitch. It's a wheelhouse, 83. And then he offered up another one, but a little too much underneath it. He hits it deep to center field, but Marino back to the warning track. Makes the play for out number 3. And we go to the bottom of the 6th. And this will be Orozco's last inning. So we will not pitch him any further. So Rennie Stennett steps to the plate. Orozco with the pitch. That's a patient 53 to Rennie Stennett from the lefty. That'll be a fly ball to left field. Henderson, seems like forever since Henderson's had any action. He settles underneath it. For out number 1. As Del Berra steps to the plate. Berra digging in. Here's the pitch. It's a ballpark 50. That'll be a wheelhouse to Berra. Wheelhouse 72. He had a good pitch to hit, but he not deep enough as he takes Mazzilli to the warning track. Well, it takes it to the warning track, but that'll just be a long out for out number 2. That brings Whitson to the plate, and that will be all for Whitson today. He's supposed to come out in the 7th anyhow. He's only allowed 1 run, but we're going to go ahead and pinch hit for him. See if we can get a little bit of action going here. Matt Alexander will come in to pitch hit for Whitson. On this replay, Alexander is batting .538, 7 for 13, so he's been swinging the bat pretty well. That's why I bring him in. Let's see if we continue that. Alexander from Orozco. Here's the pitch. That's a patient 49 from Alexander with a left-handed pitcher. That will be a single by Alexander as he continues the hot hitting. He's on first. with a pinch hit single as Omar Marino steps back to the plate. Marino looking to get a rally going, a 2-out rally, to get another run across. That's going to be a tough 37 to Marino. And that's going to be a one that Marino takes opposite field into the corner. And Marino sends Alexander in as he slides head first into third with a 2-out triple. And another run comes across as Marino gets the job done, driving in Alexander. As Phil Garner steps to the plate. Orozco, with a look of disgust, brings the pitch to Garner. That's a patient 0-5 to Garner, and Garner takes the free pass down to first. Is it time to pull Orozco? I think I'm going to try him one more. This is getting risky because Dave Parker steps in. This may be a mistake, but lefty, you like your chances a little better. Here's the pitch to Parker. That's a patient 32 to Dave Parker. Lefty pitching. That will be a single by Parker. It's a sharp liner into center field. That will score Marino, and that's going to be all for Jesse Orozco. Probably kept him one batter too long. As Orozco will be having a seat. What makes it difficult is I'm coming off of a extra inning game and using pitchers that'll be available, because I used quite a few in that game because the pitching wasn't the best. Go with Del Murray, was to come in relief. As the bullpen for the Mets is not the best. Robinson at the plate. Murray, after his warm-up tosses, comes into a 2-out, 2-on situation. Here's the pitch from Murray. Robinson stepping in. That's a patient 38 to Bill Robinson. He grounds it to first. Montanez up with it, unassisted, steps on the bag for out number 3. But not after another run comes across. 5 runs on 10 hits. Actually, 2 runs come across, excuse me. Now 5 runs on 10 hits for the Pirates. As I gotta now find a pitcher for the Pittsburgh Pirates. And that's going to be an easy choice. I'm going to go with Romo. Enrique Romo will be stepping to the mound. He gets his warm-up tosses in. Enrique Romo has been one of my best choices. It seems like anytime I pitch him, he fares fairly well. Yeah, he's got a little high on the whip at 1.40, but his ERA is at 2.5. So he's fared well. His young blood steps in. Whoops. Get that F8 back on there. I hit the erase by mistake. What am I doing? I didn't. I thought I had. Where's that? There we go. Youngblood stepping to the plate. Got confused there for a second. Youngblood stepping to the plate. Romo took his warm-up tosses. Top of the 7th. Here's the pitch. It's a tough 83. That'll be a ground ball to short. Bear up with it. Over to first. 6-3 put out. For out number 1. As Alex Trevino steps in. Trevino steps in as Romo goes to the belt. Here's the pitch. It's a defensive check. This time it's going to be an error check on the third baseman. Garner, if I remember correctly, is not very good at third. Yeah, he has a 1 error rating. So 1 to 61, it is an error, and that is a 52, so it will be an E5 for Trevino. It'll be a 1 base error. E5 for Garner. So Trevino's safely on first with the error. 1 out, 1 on for Doug Flynn. Here's the pitch from Romo. It's another defensive check. This time it's a 91. It's way too high. It's a range check for the shortstop. Berra makes the play. Great play, and with that roll of 3, they're going to turn the double play for the 6-4-3 double play that will end the inning, and any chance for any type of rally for the Mets, as Romo was happy to see that error erased by that double play. As Murray steps back in. Stargell to the plate. Bottom of the 7th. After the take me out to the ball game in the 7th inning stretch, Stargell steps in. It's a patient 17 for Willie Stargell, and he gets a free pass as he walks down to first with a leadoff walk. That brings Steve Nicosia to the plate. Nicosia on the day had a leadoff double in his first time up. Not a leadoff, a double his first time up. Since then, he's flew out twice to center field. Here's the pitch to Nicosia. Oh boy, another one. Another rare event check. And where's my chart? Oh, those troublesome rare events. Here we go. It's a 9 with a runner on. Pitcher develops minor injury and must be removed from game. Relief pitcher misses next 2 games. Starting pitcher must rest for 4 days. I'm sorry, I'm ignoring that. This time I am not doing that. Let's just re-roll for Nicosia. That's a wheelhouse. 28 for Steve Nicosia against right-handed pitching. He got a good pitch, but he ends up getting underneath it and popping it up. He pops it up to first base as Montanez gets under it easily for out number 1. Nicosia goes back to the dugout in disgust, knowing he got a good pitch to hit. Here's the Randy Stennett stepping to the plate. Murray with the pitch. That's an in play, 31 for Randy Stennett. And he'll pop it up. This time the pop-up is to second as Doug Flynn settles underneath it. For out number 2. Now Del Vera to the plate. Here's the pitch. Vera stepping up. And that's going to be a ballpark 74. It's going to be a Wheelhouse to Vera. Wheelhouse to Vera. Wheelhouse 42. And Vera will hit a 2-out single. The line drive into left field will move Stargell over to second. And that's going to bring Romo up. And Romo hits off the 7 card. I'm going to go ahead and have him swing away because we got a couple more innings to pitch. And he can go the distance if he doesn't allow any runs across. If I can just find that number 7 card. Where are you when I want you? Dadgummit. There it is. 2 on. The pitcher comes up. I should probably pinch hit for him, but with a 4-run lead, I'm just going to leave him in. Here's the pitch from Murray to Romo. That's a ballpark 20. It's going to be a Wheelhouse for Romo. And he can't do anything with it. That would have been something if he could hit a home run, but he just grounds it to short. Tavares up with it. Takes the short route over to second for the 6-4 put out. And we go to the 8th. With our score 5-1, Pittsburgh. As Murray steps up as the next batter, he will not, as we will pinch hit. For Murray, they got to get some runs across. Pinch hit Maddox against the Elliott. Maddox will come in and pitch hit against the lefty Romo. Romo staring down Maddox. He's took his practice swings. Here's the pitch to Maddox. And that's an in play. 87. Maddox comes in and grounds it to short. Berra up with it over to first for the 6-3 put out and out number 1. Steve Henderson steps in. Henderson against Romo. Here's the pitch. That's a tough 80. It'll be a fly ball to center field. Omar Marino takes a few steps back. Squeezes it for out number 2. Which brings up Frank Tavares. Hoping to get something going. Let's get a 2-out rally going. Tavares is thinking. Romo's thinking, I think not, as the pitch comes. It's a tough 50. It's a ground ball to third. Phil Garner up with it over to first for the 5-3 put out. And we go to the bottom of the 8th with our score still 5-1. Pittsburgh. And I will need a new pitcher for the Mets. And the offerings are not good. We'll go with Wayne Twitchell. As the bullpen is garbage. But you go with what you got as Omar Moreno steps to the plate. Moreno, the leadoff hitter. What has he done today? Moreno on the day has had a single and a triple. He's 2 for 4. He hit that triple driving in a run in the 6th. Here's the pitch from Twitchell. That's a tough 77. It's a fly ball to center field. Mazzilli underneath it. Route number 1. As Phil Garner steps in. Twitchell just wanting to get out of the inning with no more damage done. As Garner steps up, here's the pitch. That's a wheelhouse 51 for Phil Garner against a righty. He got a good pitch, but he couldn't do anything with it as he grounded it to Tavares at short over to first for the 6-3 putout and out number 2. Now Dave Parker steps up. Can he keep up his hot hitting? Today, Parker is 1 for 3 with a walk. See what he can do with this pitch. As Twitchell brings it to the belt. Here's the pitch. That's a tough 33 to Dave Parker. And he strikes him out. Sends Parker back to the dugout to get his glove. As we go to the 9th. 5-1. Pittsburgh. Can there be some 9th inning magic for the Mets as Lee Mazzilli comes to the plate? Romo looks just to close out this game. Romo stepping to the rubber. Here's the pitch to Mazzilli. It's an in play 65. It's a ground ball to short. Berra up with it over to first. 6-3 put out. Out number 1. As the Mets are down to their last 2 outs, Richie Hebner steps to the plate. Bats .291 against right-handed pitching, so he's going nowhere. Here's the pitch to Hebner. It is a good one. It's a ballpark 04. That's going to be a wheelhouse to Hebner against the righty. What will he do with it? He gets a good offering, but he can do anything with it. He's too anxious. He tops it, sends it screaming to short, but Berra with the great grab scoops it up over to first for the 6-3 putout and out number 2. And we're down to our last out as Willie Montanez steps to the plate. Montanez only bats .229, but I don't think I have anything any better in the dugout. Whoops, that's the wrong thing. I hit my... Okay. Oh, let's see. Who can I bring in for Montanez? We need somebody that can swing the bat. Cranepole, he ain't much better. I wonder what Stearns will be the better choice. It's not great, 241, but it's the best thing I got right now as John Stern comes in, sees what if he can do anything. Let me double check with that. Yeah, I'm going to go with Stearns. Down to the last out, Stearns comes in. It's righty. It's not the best, but he's the best bat I got to offer for the Mets. Here is the pitch. It's an in play, 65. Stearns couldn't do anything with it. Grounds it to second. Rennie Stented up with it over to first for the 4-3 put out. And that is our game here in Three Rivers Stadium. The home team took the win 5-1. Ed Whitson credited with the win, Falcone with the loss, and Enrique Romo with the save. Omar Marino was the MVP of the game, and let's check that out and see why. Why Marino? Marino for the game was 2 for 5, 2 runs, an RBI. Wouldn't say that's a great game, but it got it done. Let's take just a little bit of a look at the box score there. The only home run in the game was by the Mets' Lee Mazzilli. Hit it off of Whitson in the 3rd inning. Garner did hit the triple, and Marino a triple. Again, just good pitching by the Pirates once again, as Whitson went 6 innings, allowing 4 hits and a run. That one run being a home run to Mazzilli. He's got his ERA at 2.18. Romo again comes in, facing 9 batters, and he's at 2.27. So that's our game. Let's go back to the ballpark and exit out. And quick play the Montreal St. Louis game to see where that one ends up. 2-1 Montreal. So the win by the Pirates now takes them to 23-9 on the season. If we look at the standings, that puts Pittsburgh on top, 3.5 games above Pittsburgh. I mean, again, 3.5 games ahead of Montreal and New York, the Mets in the National League East. They're playing lights out ball right now. They lead the league in winning percentage at almost 72%. So the Pirates are playing well so far in this early season. Let's take a look at the replay daily before we close this out. Play of the day was made by Jorge Orta for the White Sox against Oakland County in Oakland County Coliseum. Top of the 11th, Chicago batting, man on first, 2 outs, game tied. Orta hits a 2-run home run, a walk-off home run to win it for the Sox. The game of the day was between the Giants and the Astros, with Houston beating San Francisco 4-3. I don't know how that would beat the White Sox Oakland game. Just my thought. So that's going to be our game for the day. I hope you enjoyed it. Didn't get anybody live, but maybe somebody will come by later Let's see this.